So, hi guys, me here, HEMA reviews guy from HEMA Celje, as you can see from the B-roll footage. Here with us we have Neyman, who have kindly agreed to also be at our event and kind of sponsor our event, so we are very grateful for that. And they brought their wares, and they have some new stuff. Now, of course, I won't be reviewing this because I haven't had the time to try it out, but in case you're interested what they're like and what things they have in like a video form, here they are. So Jerzy.
Hello, I'm Jerzy Again, thank you for inviting us. It's also an event, a lot of good sparrings and great atmosphere. Let me go straight to the job because we want to keep this short. This little guy we have here, we call the zero jacket for zero additional heat. Really low weight, you can without any trouble say this jacket is has much less weight and more things you have. Actually it's around your size, so you can have some first kind of experience thing to say how it feels when first worn, but mostly this jacket it's made in totally different style. You probably will see from me through the back of the jacket material, it's a little see-through, but mostly it's mesh, which is used in place of regular padding as protection. This is something that allows this jacket to be really light, do not cover any kind of moisture and still be protective, and also it passes air like crazy. So after long training, it's not like most jackets that are compared to wearing winter clothing. It's more like having only a blouse over you.
Okay, so my opinions on this is it is actually extremely light. Now I'm not sure if I throw it in, if you can see how light it is, but this is what, under 2 kilograms, right?
No, 1 kilogram
under 1
for
kilogram.
L size.
For L size, okay, so this is like extremely light, and when you put it on, it also feels very light. So I put it on before because I was very interested in it. This one is too large for me, so never mind the fit. But you will need additional protection to spar with. So it is very breathable, which you can feel as you put it on. It has a single zipper, but it has double padding here, and also very light. It does bunch up when you go.
It's more the reason of your size.
Yeah, okay, but
can I use my mannequin?
Yeah, of course.
Actually, on the back of this jacket, there is a special belt. So if the size is much more fitted, this is too large, especially every around it, so you can see external material. But normally, it will make it much snugger in place of belts like I have on myself. Then you need to fasten separately.
But even with this, if I lift my hands up, there is no weight on my shoulders because the jacket is so very light.
Yeah,
so
sure.
This is a size too large for me, and I could spar with this. Not full sparring because I would be afraid of heavy hits.
Yeah, actually, it's also the thing we are not encouraging to make heavier sparring without protectors.
Yeah.
But actually, this material which we are using in it, it's really impressive in kind of surface squishing. It's soft on point squishing that are not really good with harsh thrust, but in case of large surfaces, this jacket with bigger protectors, flat protectors, give a much better defense than regular jacket, which do not have this material capability.
So it does feel like it doesn't feel like regular padding. It definitely feels different, and I can imagine it taking impacts better. I'm looking forward to see how this jacket performs because it seems good. Is it Newton rated?
The material made on the outside is redesigned at 800 Newton material. Okay. It's lower. It's 350, but if you blow through it, you will feel actual air. These big parts that look like intake, those are actually exhausts because they are using places which mostly get hot, the back, and the actual place where the jacket breathes is all of the jacket.
Yeah, I can feel that actually as I wear it, so I can confirm that. Now, if you live in a hotter climate, if you're from like Australia, or if you have very hot summers, this is absolutely something to consider. Again, you will need some extra protectors for the elbows, especially.
Actually, we are still in design, but there will be strictly designed for this jacket protectors. Do not taking out the breathability of the jacket and taking maximum potential from how this fabric works with surfaces. So it will be not our regular protectors. They are still good on it because we already use it. But we have in design the protectors and also the special plastron that will not block the airflow of the jacket. And about air, this is not a magic item. If there is hot and there is no moving air, you will probably be at the same temperature without the jacket, like sparring in just a t-shirt. But in case that you have some kind of wind or ambient temperature is lower than you are, this jacket will still passes the air. This will not hit you and it will not gather moisture. This 1 kilogram jacket, when you start with the sparring, you will end with the same weight. It will not keep any kind of moisture.
Okay, excellent. Let's move on to this one.
Sure.
So this is the redesigned.
Let's switch.
Yeah, switch it. Fair enough. This is the redesigned Guardian Angel. It has no extra protections, even though it has
actually
the fittings.
Let me tell you, we kind of wanted to show you because to many people we already showed how the magnetic protectors are working. The most favorite for it is Jonathan Burke, who kind of was part of the process of developing it. But in case of this jacket, we stopped producing for people because we kind of developed the idea for the zero jacket, and we decided as a flag item this required to have this material. It's still the much better piercing resistance. On the inside it has this better, much harder mesh and additional rubber gel protectors. Here, when there is rarely any protection, because most ends here additional ribs and also back of on your back. This is not something new. This is replacing of the basic material for the jacket. With this we took something like 600 grams from the weight, and actually it works really well with this upgraded Newton material.
We'll show the paddings as well. We can take them out, right?
Yes, okay. Of course. The plate on the inside.
Oh, so just a second. Sure. No problem.
Yep.
So this jacket is actually, it feels nice. It's weird because it wasn't made for me. It's a little bit tight in the shoulders and a little bit wide in the belt area, but it does feel lighter. It actually feels about as light as my regular Neyman, but if I'm not mistaken, it seems a little bit more protective. Is that right?
Not only regularly, it's mostly fixed on its magnetic protectors for protection. But yes, it's padded much more strongly, but not with regular padding. But it's a mix of this padding and really high density thin rubber.
And it's also made from, this is the same material as the Zero jacket, right?
It do not allow such big pass-through like this one, because it's kind of blocked by integrated materials. This one goes way over, on the front, way over 1,200, but do not make people confused. We just call it 800 plus.
Yeah? Okay.
So this jacket, this info is stopped a little because it's still in usage. It's better than regular jackets, but not as good as the Zero in terms of airflow and pass-through.
Okay, awesome.
The protectors.
Yes, and let's show off the protectors.
As you see, there is no really.
So the protectors go shoulders. They go
for shoulders, for back, for your
ribs and back.
Ribs, back, and
ribs.
On the other side. actually you see this is really
Can you see?
part gel, part foam.
So it's very difficult to squeeze thoroughly, and yet still kind of feels soft.
Yeah.
So I do imagine that this
Actually,
takes
the
impact
thing
pretty well.
is that you can squeeze it in your hand. That's why we kind of were looking for material which do not impact any kind of movement you may try to put on it. So that's how we came up with it. Let me put it back if you're interested in something more.
Oh yeah, and I want to show this off. This is the last item that we'll get to the MORDHOLT, to the new MORDHOLT
Sure.
very quickly later on. This is the Diogenes sword, and I have to say I'm actually very impressed. These go for 150 euros.
Sure.
If you need like a first sword or loaner equipment, this is awesome. This is a very good sword for loaner equipment, for a first sword. It's not for sparring because it's a little bit stiff. So it does flex, but it is a little bit too stiff. However, if you need it just for people who just started going to HEMA, as I said, for clubs, absolutely amazing value. If you're buying a first sword, this is also good so that you can see what you actually like. And yeah.
You know, personally, this guy is my unholy and ugly child. But I really love him for a simple reason. I put in much effort in it, guy. It looks simple, but actually, this kind of strange shape you see in front. I took something like 2 months of work to accurately put three-dimensional properties of the blade as a distal topper fuller, really change the way the blade behave and put them on the two-dimensional plane. This way we're trying to address issues we know from Jonathan Burke, our favorite guy in Taipei, in Taiwan, who kind of told us about people in Asia trying and doing HEMA. This is something we need to encourage, but they are doing a lot of makeshift weapons and protectors which actually give false protection, which is much less this is thing people should discourage, the protection that is not made with good materials. That's why he's godfather of level 1 warrior project. This is word of it. We also have a novice jacket to just make people use proper equipment which is safe, but and do not tend to take things that are simply cheap and fail at their work because they give false feeling of protection. This guy actually, as you told, yes, it's do not. I would never put him into a tournament. I would not. I would put him in sparring if someone wants better protection. Light sparring, of course.
Yeah, okay, it's fine for light
training,
sparring.
because it has. You see here, it has every properties of the blade in work for learning. But also in terms of legs, we already put in a few of them into test. After longer usage, it gains a little more flex, so over time you will be able to get a little more fencing out of him. Kind of, it's also a great club item, especially for a reason. This guy actually, it's kind of a mistake that became something great. I will try to simplify the edges to a point when this sword with just this thickness became lost every actual point.
Stress points.
Yeah, he lost almost every stress point I started with in normal design. Because you know, fullers, changes shapes, they always impact those the stress points. This guy almost have no stress points, so it should last like years and
Okay,
years.
excellent. So one of my clubmates actually bought the sword, and he got it today. So I will do like a full independent review of what I think of the sword when we actually kind of give it a try at our club. So that's it. And can I see?
Last little, people are asking if this guy has any kind of distal topper.
Yeah.
Because they are thinking this is just a cutter. were dropping on the prices to sell it as cheap,
Yeah, of course.
but it has distal topper, but moved a lot farther. So it not starts with the ricasso, but it starts somewhere like 2/3 of the blade and goes to the ending. So it gave it a little more flex, and that's why it's starting flexing over time.
Yeah.
So it has a distal topper, but it's made the way that we could produce it cheap for people we want to join HEMA, or for people who we want to be safer than using like metal bars without any kind of heat treating or any kind of additional protection.
Yeah. Okay, so this is definitely a budget sword. Okay. So the last thing I want to show is this. I do believe I'll get to do a full review of this one. It's the updated version of the MORDHOLT. So I did the Neyman Heavy Feather review a little while. That one's out of production. And this is basically the upgraded version. It still feels the same in the hand. Basically, very solid sword. It feels like a better Turnava to me, and I love the Turnava sword. And it has much more flex, so it's I would feel much safer sparring with it. But I have to check for heavy sparring because of the weight and the point of balance. So I will actually have to give it a go.
Actually, Alan, you were the guy who explained us a lot of things about our blade, and you kind of mentioned that there could be even a thin fuller for additional flex, and kind of then why not? This is a feedback. We went with it straight away. We made few types, checked which type of thinner will give it a correct balance, and actually I will not tell it like a different kind of sword. This is just an upgraded, improved version.
I just got a gift.
Yeah.
What is it for me?
For you as a gift.
Okay, so we were very nicely interrupted by some gift giving. Now, this is the last thing I want to talk about here. It's the upgraded MORDHOLT. Actually, the upgraded Neyman Heavy, which I liked a lot for practice purposes. It cleaned up my technique, I feel like. Still, my technique needs a lot of cleaning up, but it helps. And this basically feels like an upgraded heavy feather. So it still feels very solid. It still feels like it kind of tells you where you have to go, but it's now more flexible. So it should be better for sparring. I'm not sure if it's good for heavy sparring because of the weight and the far point of balance, but I think I will get to test it out and tell you what I think of it. So Jerzy, what can you tell us about the upgraded heavy?
We were interrupted. I was already starting to say that upgrade actually came from your inside. We kind of try to listen to every inside. Same was the first change, because if you remember at the start, Galahad, which was called at first the tournament feather, was neither of them had fillers. They kind of had different shape, different masses, but actually fullers change a lot how they work. You are already seeing how the Galahad works. MORDHOLT, as we can say, upgraded heavy feather. We always wanted to give them special jobs. We are never were fans of the good possible for every kind of thing swords. That's why those guys can do job for everything, even tournament. You will see it. Actually, you will see it. You have it for test. And in terms of this guy, light feathers are still good for normal sparring, training, learning. But we gave them the perfect job. So not good, but perfect at one task and good at others. So this guy performs really well if you want to change movement while sparring. You want to force your sword your way. This guy will listen to you. This is your best friend at tournaments. This guy is a friend that will nag you when you're using him wrong. That's why he's best for training purposes. There's just kind of idea we came up with this sword. Let's give them a task. We could make something like a middle sword, but if it's something is for everything, it's also kind of for nothing. That's why like we choose to specialize those swords.
I can definitely confirm for the Neyman Heavy that it is actually going to nag you when you do things wrong, which is why I love it. So I think this one is going to do the same thing. But again, I'll know when I get to use it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that one, I also have the Galahad. And it does perform very well in sparrings. So I will do a full review of the Galahad in like a month or two when I get some more time with it, see how it behaves, and so on.
Yes, we really were testing many types of fullers to add to Galahad, like you kind of suggested, because most of the fullers we tried lost the ability we are talking about, the learning curve. Actually, it was one and only with correct depth and the way it works that still holds the capacity of learning. On the I think kind of same level. I do not felt any kind of downgrade from the regular set.
Okay, so I think we went through everything.
Yeah, kind
Okay.
of. We came, you know, again, I must thank you for inviting us to Syria.
I'm very happy to have you here so that I can actually see the new stuff that's going on. I'm looking forward to see how these things end on.
We are much more excited about this. You know, we're kind of excited with every project we have worked on. We probably next time we will see each other at some kind of event.
Yeah.
We'll probably have new and fun gloves to show off, and probably zero with full protectors. If we want, we can also show off how the Royal Renaissance look.
Yes, let's show off the Royal Renaissance.
Take with pants also if they will fit you.
Oh, if they fit. Okay.
Okay, those are not your size, but
These are not my size, so I won't put them on because they're gonna just look silly. But
you had time to see it.
I had time to see it,
Our
yeah.
boss, the owner of the Neyman Maciej.
so I'm just gonna put in a picture of Maciej here.
Yeah,
because
sure.
I know I have it and he's in a very sexy pose. So
He kind of nails the design to person attachment.
exactly.
It's kind of
So can you show off the jacket?
jacket works the same way. We kind of this idea was holding for really long in our heads, and we needed to purchase quite a hefty machine to do this. And thanks to this, we can do such a lovely embroidery without switching 20 machines for one jacket, and this way it can be affordable. Probably you think this is only upgrade from normal Renaissance in terms of look, but actually it has few features putting over it. It has same puncture resistance as the Guardian Angel. We use the same fabric for protection. It's lighter. It's not same padding like in Zero, but if someone asks us, we can offer it for almost every jacket. But it's something between the Zero and the regular padding. It's a little upgraded thanks to that. It's not really that heavy.
Can I see?
Around regular jacket, but
it's
little less. Around 2. This one is around 2 to 2.3. It gathers a little moist because Maciej fights in it a lot. But already you see this is not really dry on the inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
So excellent. These are weird
fancy.
because they are so fancy. They are so fancy that they went through ugly and got pretty again.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned. Okay, so that's it. Do you have anything else to show? I don't think so. All of the rest is old
gloves
stuff.
you already saw.
All right. So thank you for being here.
No, it was a real pleasure.
So, again, Neyman is one of the companies that really tries to innovate, which is why I have so much coverage of them. And I do have like a ton of stuff from them that I still have to review, but I will also try and get my hands on some different jackets and also give reviews on that. All the stuff that we showed you today is not completely finished yet, so don't take it as like this is exactly it. I can just tell you my impressions. So that is a very light jacket that seems to be good for light sparring in a very hot climate. this seems to be just a very good jacket overall, and actually my girlfriend is gonna order one, so I will be able to do a full review of this one.
This is kind of part, because for
Yeah.
now we are selling it as a full bodysuit.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it has magnetic protectors, which are kind of off now because we wanted to show how the
actual
mesh
jacket is.
works in other jackets. Yeah.
Okay, so I still have a lot of stuff to go through with the Neyman, and I finally have like a full-time job, so quite possibly I will be able to afford to buy more HEMA gear, even if I have to sell it onwards then just to review it. So thank you for watching, I hope this was informative, and until next time, have a good one.